as amateur football players, we will continue to struggle with, probably. Can we fix this?
Are you connected to the computer?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, the first issue really is awareness. It underpins a lot of the problems that we have because our decision making at times isn't perfect, and it basically comes down to knowing what's around you, the space that's around you, the opportunities that are around you, and reading situations on the pitch basically by knowing what's around you. You'll see that most of the problems that we have, just hope the Wi-Fi works, most of the problems that we have are based on awareness. If you boys improve your awareness, so things like checking the space behind you, even when the ball's on the other side of the pitch, having that awareness to look around and to find that little bit of space is going to help you in matches. The second thing, boys, I'm going to turn the sound off because I'm a little bit sick of checking. Let me see. The second thing, boys, is switching, and this is also something that we've talked about quite a lot. It's quite important in terms of a tactical philosophy that we're trying to employ. Switching the play is really important in order to use the space that we've created, and that really ties in with awareness. Is that you'll find in this video, as in all games really, that especially our central midfielders don't really, and our centre backs don't really have that awareness of when there is an opportunity to switch the play. So hopefully this is going to show you these kinds of situations. It's going to help you with your switching of the play if the fucking Wi-Fi works. The third thing, boys, is the width of the wingers. Maori in particular. This is why I wanted Maori here tonight, because his positioning in this game was pretty bad. We always talk about the need for the wingers to stay wide in order to create the space for the central midfielders and the striker to operate. And Maori and Tim in this game, they didn't really shine. They weren't great, and that's partly because of their positioning that they chose to take up. They were extremely narrow on the pitch, and it kind of caused all sorts of problems for our midfielders and strikers to create chances and to give them space. Remember, boys, it's not just about whether you can get on the ball, it's whether you can create space for other people to get on the ball as well, and this is something that I'll point out in the video. Also, boys, we'll look at defensive shape, particularly of the midfield and defenders. That's why I wanted Sebi here tonight. Sebi, particularly in this game, wasn't great in his positioning. He's not usually a right back, but the positioning was, on some occasions against better teams, we would have been in trouble. Boys, does someone want to help me with this Wi-Fi?
It's connected now. It just connected, so you might have to.
You might have to reload.
Restart, make it down.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's the defensive shape, boys. As we'll talk about before, when the ball's on one side of the pitch, people need to move across, prioritising the dangerous space in the middle and in behind, as opposed to trying to man mark at the back is important. Also, movement in attacking thirds relates. There we go. It kind of relates to the width of the wingers. Some of the movement in the attacking third wasn't great, and we ended up kind of cutting space where we needed it, where we wanted it. We ended up with players running the same line as each other, being in the same space as each other, not reading each other's movements, not, as I said, trying to create space for others, but trying to get on the ball all the time, themselves being quite selfish in terms of their attacking play, and also decision making as well. So we'll look at a little bit of that. Involvement of the fullbacks as well. I've just caught up with Alex and Florian and Max, and one of the pieces of information I got was that on Sunday they felt that the fullbacks weren't really involved in the game, and this is something that's quite obvious in this process game as well. We didn't get the fullbacks involved as much as we wanted to, so there's also that to look out for. Set pieces, boys, the easiest thing to fix in the world for us, but you'd be surprised at the amount of times that we've fucked up in this game in terms of set pieces, and you'll see that when we get it right, we are actually quite dangerous on set pieces, because the other teams that we play aren't very organised, and because our movement is generally quite intelligent. But a couple of things to talk about with regards to set pieces. Philosophy from playing from defence, boys, far too direct. Far too direct. Sometimes we get the ball, we play with three central midfielders, and our centre backs and our full backs decide to launch hope for long balls. This isn't how we play football, boys. This is not part of the philosophy. We play with one striker and 3 central midfielders. Therefore, the priority must be to play short passes into the central midfield. Also, boys, you'll notice that in those areas, in midfield, we have players that with high technical ability. This means that we don't want to be playing long balls into them because their strength is with their feet, it's in short passes and in technical ability. Yeah, common sense, and it also relates to the philosophy. And it's also timing of passes as well, boys. Decision making, timing of passes. You'll see that some people, Mattia and Muhab especially, you receive passes in a lot of space. And you try to play your pass too soon. Sometimes people like Maori take an extra touch and then the chance is gone. A lot of it is timing of the passes. So boys, bear with me. There is a lot of information to get through, but I'll try to take you through as many of the key situations as possible. We'll do it chronologically because it might be a little bit easier for me to sort out. Let's see what we've got here, boys.
This is the second time.
Yeah, it'll be second, boys. Also, the first half was covered last week, but I mean, a lot of the patterns they relate to both halves anyway, so it shouldn't matter too much. We won't really have missed anything. Boys, oh fucking hell, that is wrong. That's why. Boys, oh, we do. Boys, any of you computer wizards?
I can do something.
Thank you.
I like the moon.
I can do something too.
You decided to play music instead?
I can do something.
You decided to play music. You DJ?
No, I want to just find the TV, you know.
I'm calling my phone to
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it last night. But it's the TV on.
Maybe you can share.
Is it a smart TV?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
If somebody has
It looks like
to check it, you want
Ask him.
It looks smart. It is, man. It's smart, man.
If she's mad, she'll answer back.
Can you see your Wi-Fi?
Yeah, 3. Mohab, 3, right?
Oh, that's it.
We were doing the same.
Technical problems with looks like it's happening also at the start.
There's recording.
Right, boys, we're almost there.
Can we,
Actually, it might be okay for a minute.
can we make it bigger?
Oh, yes.
Romania when I was 7 years.
Technology here,
Quite
right?
natural if you ask me.
Boys, let's switch this fucking shit off, shall we? Don't want to hear him, do you? Okay. Yeah. Boys, the first issue, I'll wind it forward in a second. It's after 54 seconds. This is also a situation that we found last week with Mooj. Mooj was actually after 4 seconds, so Muhab's about 50 seconds later than Mooj, so he's doing 50 seconds better, basically. But you'll see. Yeah. Just wait a second, boys. I'll get around to it. Right, boys. Now, in this situation here, this is. I'll tell you now. Muhab takes the touch, and where do you play that ball? Where does it go? It goes back, doesn't it? It goes back. So he plays it back. When we're in training, what's the priority, especially for midfielders? What foot do we try to receive the ball on? Back foot. And where's the priority when we receive it on the back foot? Where do we want to go? Effectively, we want to go forward, right? And so in this situation, Mooj does exactly the same thing in the first half. You see, it goes in, see, and you don't even check your shoulder. It's just play it back, just play it back. He's got Einl in here, and you've got. I don't know who this is actually. I think maybe Mooj at this stage. He hasn't been subbed. You've got Einl, you've got Mooj here in the space. You haven't checked your shoulder. All it takes is a one-touch pass into Einl. Einl's through the middle, and you've got what 3v4 maybe, but you're in a good position in the centre of the field. But Mohab doesn't even check his shoulder; he just plays the ball back, straight back. And now what happens is that he plays the ball back, and prospects come across, and they get organised, and the chances come. Boys, you have to be brave in possession. This is one of the examples. You have to be brave in this situation. Okay, you've got a guy behind you. Obviously, you can't receive it too much on your back foot. You can't go forward yourself. But you've got Einl right there, and if you check his shoulder as Vlad's got the ball, because you've got loads of time and space to check. If you check your shoulder and you look, then you're good enough to play that one-touch pass around the corner, and Einl's fucking in.
Yeah, but to be honest, I didn't think that Vlad's gonna pass the ball because he always goes to Carlos back. Always.
Okay, but you can always see from his body shape as well.
Yeah, but he always do the same body shape and same touch, and then you go back.
But are you telling me now? Are you telling me that in that body shape that Vlad's going to go to Carlos?
Yeah, but it comes and then I wasn't prepared for it.
To be honest, boys, in this situation, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because, as we talk about many times, it doesn't matter where the ball is on the field. You've always got to be checking your space anyway. So if that ball, your question in your head, doesn't have to be, is the ball going to come to me? It's if the ball comes to me, what am I going to do with it? Yeah, and if I'm a central midfielder in that position, or if any central midfielder is in that position, they want that ball because it's to their feet, it's possible, and then you also want the ball because you know that when you receive that, it's going to go to Einl, because you've looked. But in this situation, you haven't even looked, and this is the point that we're trying to make, especially in central midfield, where you don't have a lot of time and a lot of space, especially against the good teams. You have to be looking, boys. You have to be looking for these possibilities. Otherwise, you keep playing the ball back, and as soon as that ball goes back, Vlad's under pressure, Carlos is under pressure, Ilya's under pressure. You're putting pressure back onto the team. You don't need to, because if you play forward into Einl, who's under pressure now? We're not under pressure. They're under pressure, and it changes the whole momentum of the game. This is why things like this are important. Again, on the training pitch, we talk about it. Little details, massive difference, boys. If that ball goes to Einl, we could be scoring after a minute, 2 minutes of the second half. Or at least we put them in on the back foot and the game's played in their half. But with Mohab playing the ball directly back, now he's putting pressure on, where does it go? Oh, okay, into Sebi. And now you can see, look, now they're organised and now the space is gone. Can you see that? Because now they have a player in here protecting the space that Einl could have moved into. Mohab's now marked. This guy's trying to cut out the switch as well. All of the chances that we just had 5 seconds ago, 4 seconds ago have gone because we played that wall pass back and because we haven't looked, checked our shoulder. But Mohab, you're not the only one. This is a theme that runs through the whole game, to be honest.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
I understand why Mohab should have passed the ball because it was clear, like that would have been the correct pass.
Yeah.
But also when we went to play possession football, then these passes at the back will always happen. All teams that do this, that play possession, they will pass at the back even if there is space to go forward. This is gonna happen. How many times do you want us?
Yeah.
How many times do you want the midfielders to go forward?
Boys,
you understand what I mean?
I understand your question, but it's a very simple equation, boys. We're here to score goals, aren't we? So the point is, it's a decision-making process in which Mohab checks his shoulder. He thinks, are we going to keep the ball here? Is it a viable pass? And in this case, it's obviously a viable pass because no one's within 10 metres of Einl.
Yeah.
So that's when to play forward because it's a safe pass to play. If one of their players was out here, for example, and he was marking the space or he was covering the space here, then Mohab would play back because there's no opportunity to play forward. And if he plays forward, it's 2v2 in this situation, then it's dangerous. But the fact that Einl doesn't have a player around him means that it's a no-brainer. That's when you play forward. Yeah. And we talk about recycling possession until we get these opportunities. That's why we have 3 central midfielders, boys. And a lot of the teams that we play against play 4-4-2, which means there's always a free player in midfield. So this is why we need to use him. Yeah.
The point of this, in the end, is passing back only if after checking I don't see a clear option. That what happens and what happened on Sunday and why we don't create chances. Because the first option is to play safe back, which means we cannot go forward, we cannot create anything, which happened on Sunday. Sunday, there was another circumstances, like the grass was shit, we were under pressure, and I get that, but it's, growing as players and getting more chances to go forward, because if not, what happens? 0-0 on Sunday.
And it's, boys, just to add to that as well, it's common sense. If you lose the ball as a centre back, you're fucked, right? The opposition can run through on the goal. If you try to play that ball into Ionel and you lose it, you can recover. You have two. The defence is pretty well organised. Sebi can come in, Max can come in, and there's no problem. And it's miles away from the goal. Boys, you have to be in football. You have to take some risks sometimes. Yeah, you can keep possession of the ball, but you keep possession of the ball for a reason, and it's to create chances to go forward. Your job is to recognise those opportunities to go forward. This is an opportunity, or that was an opportunity to go forward. This is why we have these video sessions, or this is why I wanted to bring you here, to show you these situations, to make you aware that also before, it's all very well, I know it's easy with hindsight to say, yeah, but we can stop the video and we can show it, and that's a fair point, but the point that I'm trying to make to Muhab and all of you is that you need to be checking your shoulder, so that in games there will be opportunities to do this kind of or to have this kind of situation, and there are against every single team we play against, especially at this level. You will get a load of opportunities to play balls like that. You'll have loads of chances. You'll have loads of situations where your central midfielders will be in a ton of space. The challenge for you boys is to have that awareness to recognise when the opportunity is there and when it's not. But Muhab there doesn't even recognise the opportunity because he's only looking one way. This is the key, boys. It's that
Yeah, we don't anticipate it that much actually in the midfield. Like we're receiving the ball from the defense, and we have to know already where the ball has to go. Like Carlos has the ball or Ben has the ball, whoever is playing, and we have just already to check. We have to check already. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, sometimes you forget because you're running towards the ball, you want the ball. Yeah.
But we do it in training, right? In warm-ups, in every kind of situation. Me and Aurelia will tell you, you have to make that decision before the ball arrives. And to make that decision, you have to be checking your space all the time. And that's especially important in midfield. I've talked to Mattia about it many, many times. Yeah, this is really important, boys. Boys, this is another. Sorry, Mohab, but this is another example as well. Sorry, mate. There will be other people, I promise. This is another example as well, so you can see that this is the same situation as before. Let me just check that I've got the right. Yeah, moving on a little bit longer. Right, so Max has won it there. Now, boys, again, we're in this situation. Muhab, again, do you look? You don't check his space. For his first thought, we just won the ball, we're on a counter-attack. You can see, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe six players. I think maybe this is one of their players as well. 5 or 6 players are in that half, and Muhab's first thought on a counter-attack is, let's play it back. Yeah? You have the technical ability, mate. I guarantee you're 1v1 against this prick here. If you control that ball on your back foot and you've got him 1v1, I guarantee you beat him. You beat him or you create something in front of the ball. You have this, I think Muj is running forward as well, and your first thought, because you haven't checked your shoulder again, is to play back. Yeah? It's the same situation, boys. Sometimes you have to be positive and you have to back yourself. Against this kind of opposition, it's a golden opportunity, boys. See, his first touch is back. Now you turn, but it's too late because they're recovering. Look, you've got 1, 2, 3 recovering behind the ball. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Do you see the point? Your first touch is back. It should be forward.
Guys, your priority has to be always face the goal when you have the ball. Of course,
Yeah.
if you are well defended, it's impossible, but that has to be your priority.
This, boys, and this situation is made even worse. Okay, you could receive it on the back foot there. You take a touch. All of this space here, you know that you're in space. If you check your shoulder, you know he hasn't gone with you. You can just turn and play forward. You don't need to be playing that ball back. Look, when you play that, look at the space that you've got.
Maybe the team wanna be in shape again. It was a cross coming.
It's a counter attack. We just won the ball.
Then the counter was from the keeper coming.
It wasn't. It was from Max. Max won the ball.
Yeah, but it's coming from the keeper and Max brought it back.
Yeah, it's a counter attack. We won the ball. It's a priority. Priority is forward, boys. Priority is forward. It has to be forward. Do you understand? It's about the momentum of the move. If you can receive on your back foot, if you can play forward, play forward. We want to get close to the goal. We want to go forward. Obviously, if you get the ball and you face forward and there are no options, then you think, all right, turn around and play it back. But you haven't even faced forward. You don't know what's in front of you. So how can you make an informed decision? You know? But again, Mohab, you're looking at me like you're pissed off.
I'm not pissed, no, I'm not pissed.
There
I'm just
are
thinking.
absolutely loads, man. We'll get on to them. Don't worry about
Oh,
it.
not pissed,
There are
man.
loads.
It's just the 47 minutes, you know, like you have to calm down the game and then you start playing again, you know. You don't have to attack all the time. You don't have to
In this
attack.
situation,
Yeah.
in this situation against this opposition, there is no need for you to turn back and play.
And
No need.
on Sunday we didn't need to calm down the game because we need to score, and this happened even more.
It's not
We
about
go forward almost at any moment that I remember. You can tell me
It's
whatever.
not about calming down the game. It's about playing forward. In that situation, it's about playing forward. Be positive. Back yourself. Yeah. That's the point.
Peak.
You're trying to make.
Peak.
Boys, so the next one. Don't worry, we're moving away from you now. Mate.
So again,
We'll take the heat away from you. Right, to the defenders, boys. Carlos and Vlad. Fucking hell, here we go.
oh,
Finally. I mean, you know, it's difficult for them, isn't it? Because haven't conceded a goal yet. But there are still things to improve. Right, okay. Now, the first problem with this, I don't know if it's Tim or Maori, you can see that his starting position is too far away, right? It should be higher because we've got to press. We talked about this at the start of the season. We talked about it quite regularly in the first half of the season. The key to the press is the striker and the wingers, right? The wingers are the first option when that ball goes wide. They have to cut off any pass forward. We have to try to make them switch the play, try to make them come inside. And you can see there, I think, maybe it's Tim, I don't know, but Tim's way too slow. He's got to be faster, he's got to be closer. Now, all right, fair enough, we're still in shape, we've got a chance. How he plays this ball long, or tries to play it long.
really.
You can see, what is wrong, what do you think is wrong with this picture here?
Bloody wave.
One line.
No, wait.
Oh yeah, all right.
No,
we can criticise the midfielders. Let's
defensive
give we'll have a rest.
No
Let's not
one's,
criticise it so much. But
Defensively?
He's not close to him.
no one's holding.
He's not close
No one's
to him.
you'll run it
holding.
along
Too
now.
far.
It happens way too much.
You'll run it along now. Fuck.
Is there any other man? No. Otherwise, it's Vlad.
No,
He
it's
gave
they're
So
the
it's
only
Vlad
players.
or the
He gave
central
him
backs.
the center circle.
Vlad and Carlos, and look at
Yeah, yeah.
Sevi's position.
It
You
happens.
can't have that, boys. Sevi should be in here, or even further actually.
But
should be
nice
in
player
here.
coming.
Vlad should be in here, and Carlos should be here. Should be halfway line,
Oh,
boys.
that's Carlos.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Ah, yeah.
And I think maybe that's.
I thought it was that bag, yeah.
That's Max. Yeah, but Max has done all right because Max has gone to initiate the press with Tim. Tim or Mauri's gone to press. Max has pressed this guy here, the winger. Carlos should be on him. Vlad should be pressed. When Tim goes to press, everyone's got to press up. Otherwise, they play that long pass forward, and now he's got shitloads of space.
Yeah,
if this is Sabri, and this guy's got any speed or any ability, and this guy's got ability, he's going to make a run and he plays the ball in, and they're in on goal from their right back. Do you understand that, boys? This is the situation with the defence. Okay, we're improving, but situations like this can't happen against the best teams, boys. Yeah, defensive organisation.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, if we do the good pressing, we also press the line and we are in the line of the midfield, okay?
Yeah.
But if we see that the pressing is not being effective and they are gonna play a long ball, we drop the line, okay?
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
like this, okay? So that's why maybe we were dropping the line. But if we only drop the line in the defense and not the midfielder, there is this big space that is happening right here, right now.
Yeah,
But
alright.
drop the line when they kick the ball.
I
When they're about.
But we need to move all together.
I agree, but
All
again,
together.
it's about bravery, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
it's about being brave and about being synchronised. So when Tim goes to press that, we have to have confidence in Tim that he's going to at least try to get close to that ball, and then we can press up. And actually, there's no way that lad is going to ping that ball over the top. And as the ball's moving, you can recover and you can get there. And you can see by the position of these boys here, they're not going to get in behind you here, are they? So you can afford to press up by 3 or 4 more metres, and you can get on their backs. Yeah. Do you understand that? If he was on the halfway line and he was on the halfway line, then it's a different situation, isn't it?
And usually when they play long balls, one central back is on the man and the other one drops, usually. So in this case, or very often happens that we drop with both
But
central backs.
the line's got to press up, and Sebi's position's horrible there. You can see this massive gap through the middle. He's not even marking him. He's playing a different line to everybody else. Yeah, you can see this. So the line has to be pushed up in this case.
so Vlad should have gone first on the ball then.
Yeah, well,
On
as the ball's moving, Vlad needs to be-
on the guy there that has the ball.
He's closest.
Is that
as
what?
the ball's moving, Vlad needs to be up his arse.
Okay.
Carlos needs to be in. Sebi needs to be closer. It needs to be compact. Yeah, because he gets time as well. He gets time as that ball's moving. He gets a little bit of time, if you can see, because the pass is it's shit, isn't it? It's shit technique. And actually, Tim, all right, he's not too far away. But you can see he gets 3 or 4 seconds, and Vlad's first move is back. It should be forward. Got it, yeah. In this case, you can't give him time and space. Seve here, I honestly don't know what he's doing. I genuinely, you can see here, if he moves inside, he's 1v1 against him. If he steps, if he moves inside, then he solves the problem.
He's covering him.
Yeah. You can see, look, he goes.
Yeah, I think once he takes a step though, he's playing that through.
Yeah,
no?
but
And he's
Yeah, but he's got to time it as well, hasn't he? So as he's taken, there is a moment there where he takes a.
he should hear it. But
Yeah, okay, he
he
is fine because he can play it. As he takes that touch there, then Sebi can step up. It's the timing, isn't it? But to be honest, Sebi's fucked himself anyway because he's way too far away when the ball arrives at the guy's feet. He should be higher and he should be closer to the defence anyway, and this is why he gets isolated. Obviously, his decision making after that needs to improve, but the situation came from the fact that the defensive line was too deep and he was too wide. So you can see that. And these against Hagley, this is a 3-on-3, and it could be very dangerous. Yeah. So we were lucky that really in most situations we were playing pro sex, so they didn't take advantage. But this is something we need to bear in mind. Yeah, and that's basically covered Sevi as well. Yeah.
What happened after this? 1 second before?
Shitty pass.
I think it was, yeah. Yeah, that was, yeah. See now Sebi's good. Now he's done well because he's cut. Now the guy's offside. He's come in. He's covering Vlad. This is a solid shape. This is a good shape.
Yeah.
Look at the shade.
Yeah.
See the line.
The ground.
The line's running across the He's offside. Yeah. They're both offside. Both of the strikers. So you can see that now Sebi's done a good job, but. If you played the ball a few seconds earlier, then you would have been in trouble. Yeah. So you can see, the defensive shape, right? That's the point that we're trying to make.
He wouldn't have given the previous offside. It was.
Yeah, but
Boys, onto Vlad. This is also applicable to Carlos as well because it does happen quite a lot. And again, it's the same as the midfielders. Now Vlad gets possession of the ball here. All right, this guy's decided to press, and I think there's no real viable option because Ionel's too slow to get across. Sevi maybe is going to receive it on his back foot, so it's difficult for him. So in this case, Vlad needs to go back to Ilya.
Yeah.
What he does is he launches a long ball forward, and we lose the ball. And again, this isn't part of the philosophy, is it, boys? I think this is Maori on the right wing. Maori's strength is not in the air holding up the ball, is it? Yeah, it's to his feet. And Vlad has a decision to make there. And Ilya's great with his feet. He can just play the ball back to him and we can switch it to the other side. And we invite the pressure and we create opportunities like we saw with Muhab in the first minute where he can receive on his back foot. Yeah? So again, it's a decision. Now, we have a goalkeeper that can play with his feet. Use him. Use that opportunity to play with him. It's an extra player at the back that you can play with. You're effectively playing, if they play with 2 strikers, you're playing a 5v2 Ronda really, because you've got Ilya as well. So keep the ball, keep possession. It's about having the balls to do that. But yeah, this is another situation of sticking to the philosophy instead of panicking and launching a ball long. Next one, let's have a look. 15, 32. Let's have a look. Try and move it along a bit, boys. A little bit of supporters.
Was it for team or the supporters?
Tim's ball scratch.
I missed one. Oh shit. Okay, let's see. Let's get
You slept.
Yeah, sorry, I was too popular.
Full back. Yeah, so the ball goes into Tim here. Max, this is yours. The ball goes into Tim here. Now, in this case here, what is the opportunity? You can't even see Max in the shot there, can you? This is a prime opportunity, because Tim's 1v1 here. This is a prime opportunity for an overlap, isn't it? Because they've got the space. If Tim cuts inside and Max overlaps, that's a 2v1 in a wide area, and you can take advantage of that. But you see that Max isn't in the shot. I think Tim tries to go on one of his dribbles. See, Max has got a bit of time there to get up with him. He can Alright, and we launched the ball into the box. It's a little bit unlucky, but you can see that we could have created a better opportunity if Max had gone on the overlap. And it's all about, as a fullback, it's about reading those opportunities of when you can do that. If Mooj has that ball under control and you can see that 1v1 with Tim, that's your cue, that's your signal to get forward, isn't it? Yeah. Got the ball under control. Tim has a 1v1, you have a little bit of space on the outside, that's your cue to go. Yeah. Same with all fullback players, boys. So that's one way that we can get the ball, the fullbacks into the game. Next one. Yeah. This is the same situation as Muhab. You can see this is Ionel now. Now, Ionel receives this ball in there. Where should his priority be?
Right foot.
Right foot forwards. We've got Muhab in front of him. We've got Alex. I think Maori's actually wide for once as well, so you can see. So look, his first instinct there is backwards. Look at his body position. He's got loads of space in here. Loads and loads of space. If he receives it on his right foot with a good first touch, he's in. He's in the defence. His first thought is, I'm going to play this back. Yeah, it's the same problem as Muhab. You can see. It's about being brave, boys, isn't it? You know? And now he's playing it back to Mooj. Okay. we lose the ball because of that, you know? We lose it. Okay, if Ionel has received on his back foot and he tried to play forward, we lose the ball here. Because he played back, Mooj loses it and it's here. Yeah? You can see the difference. Yeah, okay. Ionel does well because he recovers and he wins it back, which is a good situation. Yeah, and again, this is Ionel again. There's a lot of Ionel in the second half, boys, to be honest. Yeah, right, that's a great ball. That's a good ball because it's in space and now Tim's 1v1. Great ball. Now, if you look at the play here, this is about the weak foot. You come in here.
Boom.
Boys, this is like a goal. Yeah, well, it's not. I don't think it is a right foot shot with the way that his feet are placed. But look at his first touch. Is he going to hit that with his second touch?
Under right
He's bringing it. Yeah, okay. He's bringing it back onto his left. He takes 1, 2, 3. Chances gone, boys. And this isn't just with Ionel. This is with everyone. Alex, you did this maybe 3 or 4 times in the game as well in this half. Boys, as you receive that ball, we talk about it in training. You can't decide, you can't choose which foot you're going to receive that on. If it comes onto your right foot and you're left-footed, tough shit, boys. Go with your right foot, swing your foot at it. That opportunity there is a golden opportunity, boys. And it's only passed up because Ionel doesn't want to shoot with his right foot.
Sometimes,
or pass, but he doesn't need to pass in that situation. He's in the middle of the goal, he can take a touch and he can shoot. He's got the freedom to take a touch and shoot there. That's criminal, boys. You can't have opportunities like that wasted. And against the best teams, these are the kinds of chances that you'll get, and it's about taking them, boys. We talked about it many times, boys. This is why.
But it is because we are really shit with our weak foot.
But we practice with the weak foot.
Man, it's not enough. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but that wasn't done as weak foot.
I would always 9 out of 10. I would come back on my right foot as well if it was the opposite situation because
that was perfect.
His stepping was not on his left.
Boys, I'm sorry. Look,
no, we're seeing the outside.
Everyone in this room prefers to use one foot other than the other. I think, right? For me, that's not the point. Oh, I'm right-footed, so I can only use my right foot at all. Boys, it's about being brave. Again, it's that bravery, having that confidence. You train more, and you train with more quality than any of the teams at our level, any of the teams 2 divisions above us. This should give you confidence, boys. When you go out there and you do shooting practice, you use your left foot. You know, I demand that you use your left foot sometimes in the passing exercises as well. You should be confident. But at university, I played on the left wing. I'm right-footed, big time right-footed. For 2 or 3 years, I played on the left wing, and I had confidence to use my left foot. My left foot's fucking shit, boys. But the amount of opportunities I created from crosses, from shooting, just because I was willing to use my left foot. It's simple, boys. It's like, okay, Ionel doesn't want to use his right foot, okay, no problem, but he doesn't score goals. He doesn't score goals, the team doesn't win. It's your decision, boys, isn't it? You know? But it could be a situation like this that costs us a game and promotion, so... Yeah.
Also, in training, guys, like I've seen so many of you still using your strong foot even when you're told to use your weak foot, and that's fucked up.
Boys, this is Alex is right. Boys, this is
Yeah,
also the
professional
same
players
as the
do that, I
Vlad,
think.
same as the Vlad situation. Now, Carlos in
And they
this
come back on their
in this
preferred
situation
foot.
here,
I think it's
boys, focus with Carlos in this situation here. He's got a load of time, a load of space, and he tries to play a long pass over. Boys, we can laugh about it, but
I want you to know he said Lionel and he passed it to me.
Yeah, that's good.
That was the funny
boys,
part.
he has. Look, Alex has gone deep. There's no way anyone's going to get on the end of that. So it's a cross your fingers pass, isn't it? And you can see here he's got Max here. Okay, maybe if he plays it quick enough, he's got INL as well. He can just check back and he can go to Vlad, yeah, because the opportunity is not there. It's no problem. Boys, again, it's that decision making. You know, we talk about the priority being forward, but if I'm Carlos and I have all that time and space, he's done really well to dribble the ball up to the halfway line. We talked about that before. He's passed at the right time. He's just made a shit decision with the pass that he's decided to make. Yeah, that's the only. But again, it's that decision making. It's that seeing that they're organised and that they're in a defensive shape that we can't exploit. So I'll go sideways, or I'll go backwards, and we'll recycle possession. Yeah, it doesn't have to be desperate all the time. It doesn't have to be that long pass. But again, you know, we're all guilty of it.
Right, I'll show him. You know? Just shoot it there. See your hand? Shoot it there.
Was I'm gonna.
Carlos did, yeah.
I saw him just
Yeah.
running, but I said Lionel.
Ah, that is
And then I stopped.
You stop and I pass. That's
Very, very.
Oh, Matthias, don't worry, I got
But it has like
I've
10
plenty of
for
ammunition on him
Matthias.
as well, don't worry about it. Alright, yeah, again, decision making, boys. Sorry, Carlos, again.
Yeah, no, don't worry. We are here for that.
That's our left back though?
Max is.
Right back.
Okay, so look,
City.
again,
Yeah.
priority. Priority is forward. Priority is
you know,
also playing from defence into midfield. Where is the priority? It's in the middle, isn't it? It's not in wide areas, because we're not going to hurt him in wide areas in the middle, are we? In the midfield, I mean, middle third. If Carlos has a choice there, the choice is Einl, isn't it? Because he's in space and he's in the middle of the field. If I think that's maybe Tim or Maori, if they receive that ball. Alright, he's got a little bit of time and space, but I mean,
You can think that
He's
it's
got
got
nothing.
you now.
you could do it again, yeah, okay,
That's
yeah.
a perfect triangle.
I think, yeah. And then Max tries to play a difficult pass, and you can see we lose the ball again, yeah. But again, it's the decision making. You play into midfield, you play into the space, the guy in space in the midfield. Let's see. Yeah, so I think this is actually a good situation with Tim. I want to be positive as well. Yeah, I know.
Like, it's the ball to me, yeah. It comes about, no.
So Einl in here, okay, he's been put under pressure a little bit, but you can see there's one ball that he can play there. What ball is that, do you think?
The through pass to Tim.
To the corner.
Yeah, between the fullback and the centre back. And he can see, if he looks, he can see that Tim's starting his movement. Okay, it's a little bit late, but he's held his width. And because Tim's held his width, if Tim was here, he'd bring the fullback in. But because Tim stayed on the line there, he's taken the fullback out and he's created this channel here. If Einl sees that channel, as he should, and he knows that Tim's on his way, he can just play that pass into there. But it's because of Tim's width that he's created this channel in here. And for our midfielders, it's really important that they have these opportunities to play forward. Remember, we talked about receiving it in the space between the centre-back, the full-back and the winger, in these little gaps here, in these half spaces. That's important, and it's important that the winger stays wide to make this space as big as possible. Once they've done that, then Tim can start his movement in behind, but you can see that Einl, if he gets his head up, he can play that ball. Obviously he doesn't. And he checks back, and then the chance is gone. Again, we're lucky because we tried to play passes and process. I mean, Tim's got to score that. We're lucky because the ball comes back to us because process can't keep the ball. But against good teams, we have to take these opportunities. You know? In this video, we're not really looking at process, we're looking at ourselves, aren't we? Let me see. Yeah, that's it. Okay. common themes, boys. This one here is opening space. Mattia awareness I've written, so this one's going to be a treat. Okay. Long pass in, but it's a measured pass. Fuck, Alex, I have no idea why you've tried to launch that out wide. I don't know. You've got the ball in a central area, and you've got Mattia running behind you. You've got Muhab right next to you, and you've decided to launch a very difficult pass out to Tim. I don't understand.
Destabilize the defense.
Destabilize? I mean,
Remember, my played injured.
Destabilize.
Yeah. Nice
So
question.
I wasn't really trusting him.
I think it actually got.
Yeah.
once you,
I was
look,
injured,
you've done a
so-
great job. You've done a great job of playing that ball. Your first touch is fantastic. You've got a lot of support around you. You don't need to be playing that pass.
But if I give it to Mate now, what would he? He's
Not even-
surrounded by three defenders
he
there.
wouldn't get
Not even. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you could play it to him if his first touch is good. I don't know. You've got Muhab
Well-
there anyway as a safe
Muhab,
option.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
the best option is not
I
to
thought
launch
if
the
I
ball
play
that way.
Muhab, I play it back.
Or went to Matia.
Yeah, but launching an impossible pass out to the wing is not the option. Yeah.
But did he go through it?
Yeah, it did.
That's
what I
for
remember.
everyone. This is a great example. We try to overcomplicate things. We try to play some football that probably we see in television, but the task of the striker, and we hadn't had this with Lucian when he came substitute on Sunday, is getting a ball and giving it to the midfielders and then going to take the space in the box. We try, I don't know, anything but playing the most simple we can play.
Yeah.
And
you can
that's
see.
in every position we have that. Most of the time we play some football that I don't know where you see it, but it's not coached here. It's just, and we lose balls, so many balls every game.
Like Alex, in fairness, that's a great ball. It is a good ball, and it's just not a percentage ball, is it? 9 times out of 10, that's going to be a very, very difficult ball for anyone, especially at this level. You are a good player, but that's a difficult ball. You also see that on the corner there, as we rolled it on, he's got Maori. Maori's there as well. Maori's there. I don't know if there's a defender there, or if there's not a defender there, then it's criminal. If there is a defender there, you can give it to him. It's a 2v1 in that area, isn't it? So you can see also that you've got Maori in there. I've got Mattia here. I don't know.
The 1-2 with him.
Yeah. This is a big issue that we face. Now, Mattia here, he's done well. The space is actually not bad. He could be a little bit further back, as you'll see now. The space is actually good. He's gone to combine with Tim, but because Mattia hasn't looked around, he's only got one option. Before Tim plays that ball, you're only going to do that. I think as you've gone over, I don't think you've checked your shoulder. I don't know. Maybe I'll rewind it again. I don't think you checked your shoulder. As you've gone over, did he check his shoulder? No.
There was the man on the right side, no?
Yeah, but you haven't, look, you
I
haven't
don't
checked your shoulder
remember.
here. You've gone to Tim. Okay, you looked over your right shoulder there, but you haven't looked over your left shoulder, which is where the space is. Now, look, as Tim plays that in your mind, you've only got one thought, and that's going to be a 1-2. It's predictable because you're already facing that way, and it's a 3v2 in that area. What do you think maybe Mattia could have done in that situation? Based on what we talked about with Muhab,
Turn
receive on your back foot into the space.
Shoot to the rear corner. Upper right. Turn and
Yeah.
Turn it.
Definitely.
Okay, Tim plays it into his left, which makes it a lot harder. But because he plays it into your left, he basically forces you to move in this direction here, and then you can shoot. It opens up loads of possibilities. But in your mind, you close the space because you didn't check the space. You didn't check.
No, I know the man is following me on the right side, right?
But you didn't check the left side, which is where the space
No.
is.
Well, he was in front of me.
What?
I knew there was a space here.
To the left?
Yeah, behind me.
So why didn't you?
Because I couldn't shoot. That's it.
What do you mean? Because you couldn't shoot? Yeah, but why can't you receive?
I couldn't shoot for the pain. That's it. So I was a bit forced in the options.
But you don't have to shoot as well because you've got different options.
Thinking
You've got
about
4
that?
guys, but I don't know.
I mean, if the pass is wrong. I mean, the run is wrong, like the power I put in the pass. But if it succeed, boom, space, ball in, and super dangerous situation, isn't it?
I understand. Look, I understand. But what we're talking about is the pattern of play, the philosophy, right? And we talked about it with Muhab and Einal as well. The priority should be receiving on your back foot and playing into the space. Yeah. When we're looking at it from a philosophical, from a tactical point of view, this ties in with the philosophy rather than playing little 1-2s when you've got 3v2. And it's a very, with that ball that Tim's played in as well, it's a very difficult pass for you to make as well. In all fairness.
No, it was super easy.
And that's gonna be offside.
I missed it.
In
Yeah,
every
but it
game,
was
that's
easy.
gonna be offside.
I think
Even
it's-
if it's not,
I think
the
it's-
guy is gonna do black.
Aurelio, I think he is onside. Actually.
No, but most of the times it's gonna be an offside.
Yeah, he said it's easy and he fucked it up. So.
I fucked it up. I was on the left foot, but come on, 9 out of 10 is right.
I'm joking with you, man. But I'm just saying that philosophically, that's what we've got to be looking for. Okay.
Switch needs creativity.
It's wrong.
Your Kindle.
Yeah, it counts. Yeah, it counts.
This is INL and Mattia. Now, boys, focus please. Look, INL's received that again from Max.
Yeah, I made a mistake.
Yeah. INL, how much space is in? What's the priority there? Back foot into the space, switching the play. His first touch
Is that flat?
is back. Playing back into Max. Okay, now they've worked their way out of it. Finally. Okay.
It was good, yeah?
Yeah, and Mattia, I think Mattia now. Mattia,
I could turn. Yeah.
yeah, turn
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
and he's played back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We have it here. That's the problem.
Mohab's good.
yeah. Again, boys, so that's twice in a couple of.
I hear you see
Oh,
turn, he went forward.
Yeah. let's have a look at that one again.
Hey,
That's-
philosophy's back.
That's the philosophy.
Learn.
Look, you'll see Ionel is in his own space, he's made his own space, and he's ahead of the ball, he's in front of the line. I think Mohab, maybe you're over here somewhere, we can't see you, so I fucking hope you are. Yeah. And you can see that Vlad's played the ball into Mattia, who's dropped, and there's been some rotation, because Mattia's not the sixth, yeah? And he's received it in space, on his back foot, now he's got all of this space here.
But also the whole play was not bad because they started from
Mohab is striker.
they started from one side.
Striker, but where's Alex then?
Is this one?
Yeah, okay, but they've rotated, that's good. And one's come to receive the ball in space on the back foot, and now he's played forward. One slight issue, Mattia.
Yeah.
One slight issue that I've noticed with your play is that when you receive it, your first thought is pass forward. If you've got 3 or 4 meters in front of you, try to dribble into the space. Try to commit more defenders rather than trying to play passes. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
Too early when the defence is organised. If you dribble at them, you draw one player out, and then you create more space in behind them.
So was Mauri out here on the right?
I don't know. Yeah, I think Mauri's out here. Yeah.
But also the whole play from the throw-in was not bad at the end because he ended up switching
Oh,
the
the
play
Meg
and
is
coming
on.
on the other side.
The
So.
Meg is
You are
on.
10 meters. I mean,
Yeah, okay, we
It
played back.
was-
because if you give the ball to Alex,
It was about
This is another issue. I want, Carlos, I'm going to use you as an example here, obviously. Boys, this happens a lot in our games. Look at Carlos's body language when he plays. Concentration, boys. I mean, you know, it's like.
Not chilly.
Too chill.
Playing in Miami.
No, but I agree totally with you, but I paced through him to the space because there was a lot of space.
Yeah.
But then I remember, no, fuck, it's you. I have to pass Sorry, no, this happened before.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck is he, man?
Boys, this is look.
I hear
This is
you.
also right. Okay, ball's played out wide now. I'm going to highlight Mohab.
Back.
Yeah. Mohab, what do you think? Where do you think the opportunity is? This space
Go,
is
go, go.
and you'll see.
Play.
He holds his hand up. He
Yeah.
half thinks
Oh yeah.
Well, no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, look, play.
He can't.
See?
No, you're too. No, wait. Because
He can't see you though.
yeah, you can't see him because you're behind the number 10. But you can see now, as he gets that ball and he touches it inside, you should be sprinting into that space and asking for the ball. You're too late. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pass.
So recognition of space.
Attitude.
What
Yeah.
pass was it?
And you
60 meters, right?
you think, wait.
Zambia.
In the 57th minute.
So you can see as well, Mattia's first touch. Look at that, brilliant. That's what we want. Boys. That's what we want because he can see it on his back foot and he's created space into the space. Yeah. And now he's facing where he wants to go. Problem here now is that the movement. So we've got Alex and Mohab. See Mohab kind of drifts, drifting. Either make movement out or in, but you're staying next to the defender. You've got to move a little bit faster. Yeah, you can see that. You can see for a few seconds, Mattia receives it, and you kind of drift. You drift, yeah. You have to make a decision. If you move out, maybe he comes with you, and then Alex can receive in this space. Alex doesn't move either. Or if Muhab moves away, maybe you can create space for Mattia to move across the pitch or something. But you end up just kind of drifting and not knowing where to go. And you can see by the time it's played, it's a little bit too late. Okay. That's done well there.
Bloody.
That's done really well. Yeah, so 57 points. Yeah, so 57, 46 boys as well. This is, yeah, so Muhab and Ainul. Both of our central midfielders. Watch, yeah.
Going for
Who do you play
Look at
now?
that.
Who do you play?
I'll blame it.
No, go back and.
So anyone could see where my mom is, right?
You know what? I think you're to blame there, Muhab, because, and I'll tell you why.
He doesn't
because,
see you.
Yeah, because Ainul is, well, you're both blindside, but Ainul's motion is forward. He's moving forward. You can see he's looking at the ball because he's just passed it. You can see that situation develop. If your movement is out here,
look at Matthias
maybe
behind.
you take him away and you can.
But Matthias behind though.
But isn't
No, he's
I have to go straight there.
His movement is not bad.
Yeah, so maybe also it's Mauri's decision making. Maybe he should think. Maybe, I don't know. It's a little bit of everything, yeah. A little bit of everything. But you can see you both make the same movement. You should be in the.
He played you early.
One should have.
Come back and give it to me, and boom from the 30 meters.
Everyone should be looking at the game. Muhab was in a very good space to attack the space.
That was for me, right?
Sometimes we
Look
make
out, look out,
technical
look out,
problems
look out.
for me. I don't mind. Now this is good from Tim because he receives it and he's on the line. He gives Sevi a wide option, which is great. He receives it. Now he's 1v1. He recognises that and he goes past him. For me, that's great wing play. Really, really good. And it's a great cross as well. Yeah, because he aims for this space, this corridor. His ball is quite accurate. Mauri just about misses it. But you can see that as a winger, he's recognised. He's seen that space in
Yeah,
behind.
good.
He can see that the guy's coming. He knows he's 1v1 and he knows he's got the beating of him. And for me, that's really good wing play. He's decisive, he's fast, and when he gets the ball, he has a look. That's quality. That's real quality. So you can see as a winger, that's what we're looking for. Yeah, especially when you're on that side. Mauri should score that really. Yeah, again. Got Ainul here.
Lucas.
Yeah.
Now, here, this is awkward as shit, this is, boys. I winced when I saw this. What's the problem here? Which foot should Ainul receive that onto the
Right.
Right, because he loves using his left. Alright, it slowed him down a little bit. And then where does he go? Where's the
Don't say
space?
left. Don't say left.
But he's criminal again. You can't, okay. He
Alright.
Yeah.
Wait, is anyone out wide? Is anyone out
Where's the
wide?
winger?
Yeah, Max as well. Max, you
Release the ball.
Where's the winger?
Give us the ball.
It's inside. It's inside.
Yeah. But boys, you can see that, can't you? Yeah, you can see that situation. You can see it developing. All right.
Oh yeah.
I know.
On to Mauri a little bit now.
Yeah, 1 minute to release the ball.
How many people going to 60?
How many minutes we have?
They said 8:30, but
90.
they don't come.
We'll see. Yeah. Now, boys, this is a big problem with Mauri in this game. This is an important point for our wingers. Mauri's position here is shit. Because Muhab gets the ball, there's no option wide at all, and he's cut out all of his space. He's brought the full back inside. There's no space. There's no place for Muhab to play the ball. So you can see now that the move breaks down because Mauri is way too narrow. You can see that, yeah. He's got to be wide, boys. You have to be wide to create space for the midfielders. You have to be wide so you can get on the ball. Fuck, that annoyed me. Yeah. It's going to be one of the last ones, I think. It's pretty similar. Muhab again, sorry mate. Similar problem.
A lot of tits out there.
There was no Muhab, there was another guy.
Boy, similar issue to Mattia here. Mattia's done well. Now,
Yeah.
Shoot!
Shoot! Go! Shoot! No!
Bro, no way. Take the space.
50 meters from the ball.
Take the space.
Yeah, the same. It's the same, boys. Same with Mattia.
No, I'm not saying you. He's saying shoot. Shoot from there.
Boys, listen. It's the same. It's the same with Mattia when he controls the ball and he sees a pass and he just tries to play it, but he's got 5 or 6. In this case, maybe more 7 or 8 meters.
Yeah.
Maybe even more. He's got that space in front of him. You have to be driving into that space. You have to, again, because you draw players out of position. Maybe there's a little ball onto Alex if you do that. That shot is different. I know you're a great technically gifted player, mate, but that shot is very difficult for anyone, especially at this level. You're not gonna. I mean, it's low percentages. You've got to.
Nice goalie.
Yeah, but Mattia was the same. Almost
Yeah.
40 seconds later.
Oopla.
Did exactly the same thing. Okay, Ian was good
Nice
defensively.
pass,
He was
nice.
really good. Yeah, with forwards. Again, Mattia.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, okay, it's developed. You got away with it, but you had loads of space in front of you to attack.
Yeah, you
And-
did.
Yeah. And you played it with your left foot, which
Ooh.
actually is a bad, and you've got to score.
And you did what you
Coming into that space.
Thank you for. Huh?
How high did you come?
I didn't jump, I think.
You didn't need
Did I? Oh no.
See the grudge.
What a league.
I
Don't need
didn't.
to jump for a header in the 6.
Tim's missed an absolute sitter there.
Yeah, the score.
Well, there are a few more things, but I'm not going to pick on you anymore.
Your homework.
To be honest, it's similar. It's similar stuff. Back to Carlos.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, fight on every ball. Yeah.
Guys, from now on, think that we are recording every game, so play to the styles.
Perfect.
Because if
Yeah?
we are
Alright.
recording on Sunday, wow.
Wow.
Okay, there's one too. Look at this. Look at
No, we
this.
You shot from
We would be here for 6 hours. We would be here for 6 hours.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that one.
That's working.
Why have I highlighted Carlos?
Play according to the.
It's the one who Mattia passed to me and I ran. Let's do it.
No, it's not.
Why have I don't know why
Maybe,
I've
yeah.
highlighted that. Sorry, Carlos, I've got that one wrong, I think.
When he shoots.
It was a good pass.
Yeah, 6608.
He's now it's coming.
I'm the captain now.
66, yeah. Boys, this is the same problem. Now, I don't understand why he does this. Gets the ball, space in front, space, loads and loads of space.
Who is that?
First
Is that
touch,
Iona?
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
bad. And then he just comes back, slows it all down, plays it back. I mean, again, options to play forward, boys. Yeah, that's good. That good movement from Mattia. Yeah, okay, this is good football. Pretty
Well,
good.
yeah, I like this one.
Oh, God.
Yeah, boys, you can see. Look, this here. This is great. This is the rotation that we talked about, right? Because Mattia is deep. Remember, he passes to Carlos. Mattia moves forward. Mohab moves back. And if Carlos
That's
was
actually
a
good, yeah.
little bit better, he could have found someone there. But the rotation was good. The movement was good. This is exactly what we want.
Who can they pass there?
Just Alex.
Okay, now Alex.
Boys, this is.
But it's too late. I was just focused on.
I think there was.
Yeah, boys. Also, this for Alex, because Alex is injured now. So this is for all of you. All of you could be a fucking striker, to be honest. Like you can see that Alex's movement. He's very indecisive in this situation. Probably surprised that Carlos is where he is, to be honest. But like,
Oh, look at that.
now look, Alex has done really well. I would say maybe your movement's a little bit early. A little bit, but then you move and then you stop, which allows the defender to track you again. You've got to make sure that your movement, see now you're drifting back towards the defender. If you continue your movement out into here,
see.
Carlos can play a pass, you can play a little 1-2, you can draw him out even, anything can happen really. But because you stayed there, this 4 is in shape.
You think that movement wasn't enough for Carlos to make the
Can we see the shot?
It was enough for me. But I didn't see it for him.
Yeah, I mean the shot wasn't great.
It was
You already had it in the
Boys, focus please, yeah? But you can see that's quite a common problem that we have. It's why we sometimes have struggled to score goals, especially against organised defences, is that the movement isn't quite where we want it to be. We're a bit indecisive in midfield and in attack. So you can see with Alex there that he goes to move and then he stops and then it becomes easy for him to be tracked. If he comes further out, he has the option now of receiving it, or he can drag a player out, but because you're halfway, you can't receive it and you're not dragging any players out, so you have to have some kind of decision. Whether you try to get in behind, you make a run, so you could, I'll just rewind it.
Yeah, like, I know what you mean.
Your run could have been here, to take out the space for Carlos to dribble into the
or
middle.
even from where I came.
Yeah,
Right.
you could, you could have gone anywhere, but you kind of just stalled. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Be a bit more decisive.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck boys. Right, okay. What else are we not close? Yeah, I want to show you a good example, boys. Let's move on to something positive, shall we?
Nice.
27, what is this? Okay, right. What I noticed, boys, we won the ball back a lot in the second half when they got tired. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Now, look at boys, look at this. This is, for me, this is quality, one of the best moves of the game. Now, you switched it, play forwards, receive on your back foot, good. And now you try to play that pass in there. That's quality, boys. That's exactly the kind of football that we want to play, because you can see that your movement is starting to create space. Mattia's movement in here to receive it. Do you notice how he's coming out? These 2 players, these 3 players are only looking at you, which creates this little pocket of space. This is why this is probably, I think, the best move of the game. Because you can see that he draws those 3 or 4 players out and he creates that space to move up between the lines. This is why Mattia's movement's excellent. And it's, as we talked about before, the priority to play forward is especially important when you switch the play, because when you switch it, you've got lots of space on that other side. So it's about playing forward to use the space that you've created by switching the play. And you can see we switched the play, because we switched it quickly, because Mattia received the ball quickly, he had a shitload of space. Him receiving it on his back foot and playing forward means that he draws the defenders out. And now, if we're a little bit more fortunate, then Muhab gets on the end of that and we're in on goal. Yeah, you can see that for me, that's absolute quality, boys. That's really good. Muhab's timing of his movement's great, it's just a little bit unlucky. That's all that stops that. Muhab gets in, maybe he creates something for Alex, but it's really positive.
And I think, didn't Muhab get that ball?
Yeah,
He did, yeah, he got his toe on the
Yeah.
But really good, boys, very, very good. Let's have a look. Let's talk about.
You hamburger?
Please.
You just carry on playing for the time being.
Yeah, I'm going to pick on the midfield again.
We are horrible. We are horrible. You are horrible.
I'm sorry. That's what I do.
Boys, there's not a lot left to talk about, I think. I'm happy that they're giving us a bit more time. We might have gone to somewhere else to watch it, actually. We're lucky.
Do not touch. Do not touch me. That's gonna go candy bar.
What time is it? Probably at. Oh, let's see the goal.
The goal is pretty good, boys. But
Was it Mattia?
yeah.
Let's see, what was that celebration?
Good.
Huh?
What was that celebration?
Look on the position of the Pro-6 player.
What was that?
Oh.
Boys, what's wrong with this?
What is it?
Yeah, mine is just. Alright. That's right, motherfucker.
I'm so
That's
happy.
not this.
Is it just an IG model?
So,
That would
You're trying to hear the ocean? I'm missing.
Yo, he's fucking American.
I'm too fucking inland, man. Where's the beach at?
Yeah, boys, so
I don't know what.
boys, midfield positioning is better, but you can see we're still making mistakes. Now in this frame here, Mattia's receiving it, INL is there, and
All there.
we'll have it there. All three of you over there, and you'll see how it develops or how it impacts the play later, because you guys are out of position. So INL receives it.
Boom.
And now you can, yeah, all right. He's tried it. He's had to play, or he feels like he's had to play a difficult pass because you're both on this side. If one of you is on the other side, on the other side over here where you're supposed to be, then you give him another option, and it creates a little bit more opportunity to go wide and to switch the play. Remember, just because we're in the attacking third doesn't mean that we have to play forward if it's not on. Yeah. If we don't have that, Mohab could be a little bit more inside. Maori maybe could be a little bit wider, I don't know, but it's tough. I think it's a tough situation to do that.
Who was going to lose?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, yeah. Mohab, I will pick on you, sorry. But if Mohab's movement is in there, then that ball can go in as well. Yeah, so Maori and Mohab are together. They shouldn't be really. Mohab should be occupying this space and Maori should be wider, take this guy away. But yeah, it's another opportunity.
If Mohab moves in, then the guy will follow Mohab and then Maori has space.
Like he
Yeah,
can
yeah, okay. If Mohab's fast enough, I mean, that should be, it's a short pass, isn't it? He should be able to get on the end of that and maybe score, yeah. But
nice ball though.
yeah, it wasn't a bad ball. But it was a difficult one. You could have played an easier one. The movement was better.
Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the fucking
And then,
right foot.
Yeah.
First thing left. Not like over here.
You had to drop into the midfielder exactly, you know? Out of the box.
Was he there?
Boo!
Was he there?
No, I wasn't there.
No.
That's why you didn't give. No, this sucks.
Oh, what?
He was
No,
behind
I think there was no one.
He was behind Maori asking him.
Hey, Maori.
No one's there. Sevi again. Right, boys.
That's actually fine.
I hope he will get the messages of this evening. It's important. Those dunks.
Aiva.
Nah.
We're sealing.
Nah. Nah.
Yeah, I did. Die.
Yeah. So look, boys, what defensively, what's the problem here?
big up space.
Between the center backs, or is that the center back and outside back?
This is Vlad. This is Carlos.
Sevi should have been
Max. So this is Sevi.
He should be closer.
Yeah. So Sevi's position should be in here. It should be further forwards. On the same line as Vlad, and it should be closer to Vlad.
Yeah.
So we're not organised.
Wow. Man.
Let me see. I've got.
See, not too bad.
Actually, it's fun. I want to see the first half.
Yeah. So look, boys. So in this case here, you can see how many Pro Sets players can you see?
Six.
So where do you think the
Switch.
Why I don't know why he doesn't switch that.
Probably
He
don't
goes
want
down because he's only left footed,
No,
I guess.
enough.
And he just goes and he plays a difficult pass. It's not in his space. So again, boys, switching. Yeah, 83, 30.
Still have 3 minutes to
Let's
go.
get this rolling, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Boys, I've said that this in my notes. This is an important situation, so bear with me.
That's for sure.
Right, okay. Mattia, Einel and Tim. Yeah. Okay, right. Boys, Mattia, good. Very good. So you played the ball forward first time. What's Tim's problem?
There's no way.
Not wide, way too narrow. Gets in Einel's way because he's not wide. Einel now has to go for a difficult situation. He does alright and he gets a good shot on target, but you can see that Tim, look at Tim's position. Tim's position is here. Shouldn't be in that situation, should he? Shouldn't be there. It's got to be wider to open the space.
But also like early.
If you turn, that's a 3v3, isn't it? And you've got a bit of space to attack. So there is that option again. You get yourself into the space, but it's about using the space positively. And actually, yeah, you'd have a 4v4 because you've got 4v3 Maui. So okay. So yeah, an option again. So lots of different, lots of things combined together, but lots of things that we've talked about a lot during this video session, all combined together. So you can see that it happens a lot. Next stuff, corners. We haven't looked at these yet. Boys, what do we always talk about from corners? What shape do we want from a corner kick? Someone on the goalkeeper. And
Someone near a
Someone collected.
Besides the train.
attacking. Train on the edge of the box. Do we have in this picture a player on the goalkeeper? No. Okay. No player on the goalkeeper. Train is okay, but it's a little bit disorganised.
But yeah, since we're here.
I don't know what Einel's deciding to do there because he's neither in the train or he's on the goalkeeper. He's a little bit of both, and he's cutting.
I was saying
He's
from
cutting the
the
space
bench,
as well.
do it.
But can I say one thing? Since we're here together, you all know John asked me to be the trainer. Why are we still having situations where we're about to take the corner? You all know I'm organizing it. You come to the place where I'm starting the train, and you start questioning the position of the train. You start wandering around outside of the train instead of staying in the train and waiting for the cross to come in, as if like you forget it in 3 seconds what the train is about. Instead of staying, moving, and then going, you just start wandering away, like saying no, we should start the train here. No, you just fucking start it from where I'm standing, and that's it. Like that's how the train works. That's it. It's very simple.
Yeah, it's true, boys. But it's something that we have to improve as a team as well. It's that you boys, I think you're quite open to what I say and what Aurelio says, but you've also got to remember that you're playing with knowledgeable players as well. And if they tell you something, boys, a lot of you, or some of you, have big problems. A lot of you have. Or some of you have big problems with taking criticism from your teammates. Boys, this is why we have these video sessions as well, is that now all of you in this room know what we're looking for on the pitch, and now all of you, I want you to be kind of coaches on that pitch, and you can, Marek, 5 minutes, yeah, thanks. I want you to be coaches on the pitch so that you can now respect each other enough to understand that everyone knows these situations and knows where you should be, knows where they should be. You have to be coaching yourself, boys, because it puts a lot of pressure on me and Aurelio. And if we're not there, if we're not both there, and if there are certain situations where we can't take control, you boys have to learn to do that yourself. Yeah, and this is another situation with Alex. Alex is, when he's on the pitch, he's in charge of the attacking corners. It's the same with Carlos for defensive corners as well. You boys have to start listening to them and respecting, because what they say is not what they think necessarily, it's what me and Aurelio tell them.
Exactly.
It should be. They know the philosophy inside and out. We have meetings about it, we talk about it a lot. So you need to listen to them. It's the same with Ilya as well. Ilya's a goalkeeper. It upset me to find out that on Sunday, Ilya tried to give advice and instruction to some players, and he was talked down and he was ignored. And for me, that's unacceptable. Ilya's got experience. He's been coached at quite a high level when he was younger, and he's a goalkeeper, so he sees everything, boys. And I have utmost respect and utmost faith in him. So you've got to listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. All right. Let's have a look. Yeah, again, boys. What have we got? Yeah, Einel again. You can see he cuts back into the pressure again, and he plays back. Okay, it's a nice ball, but he plays back into where the pressure is. He's got to be switching the play there. Yeah, you can see how many players they've got in the box as well. Yeah. Okay. Another situation with corner kicks.
Corner kick.
Yeah, 85, 42.
Can we listen to him?
85, 42, boys. Yeah, so you can see, again, is there a player on the goalkeeper?
Nope.
No. Is the train organised?
Nope.
No. There's another one, I think, another corner now. Oh, boys, I tell you. This
I
kind of
think the
shit
crossbar.
really annoys me. Play on the goalkeeper? No. Train? No. Again, boys, this is basic philosophy. This isn't. You have the ball goes out. This is like you have a minute, 2 minutes to organise yourself, and you're incapable of doing this. This has to improve, boys. You have to get used to this. 86-51. Last couple of points, boys. Mohab opening the space again. So look. Yeah, here. Mohab, your first touch is back in the direction of the pressure. Your first touch should be, you can see your first touch is here. Your first touch should be out of your feet into the switch in the play. The ball's come from this side. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Their striker is here as well. And you've got all of this space out here. You've got Maori out wide. I think he's out wide for once. You've got Elan here. But your first touch is instinct, man. Your first reflex should be.
I have the ability to touch the ball however I want. Like I think I can't really receive the ball there. I can't.
Man, if you want to play the way
No, I don't want to. No.
You're welcome to play in the way that you want, but you won't be getting the game time that you expect. You know, this is, boys, you have to listen to me.
Yeah,
there's a reason why I analyse these matches, and there's a reason why I want you to do certain things. You taking that extra touch then is 1 or 2 seconds longer than it should take, and then the space is closed. And those 1 or 2 seconds are really important at any level of football. It's the detail that matters, the detail. And if I'm telling you there, the ball comes from Ionel, and you can see that picture in front of you, your first touch should be out of your feet into the space to switch it out wide. Should be, all the time. Good players do this. They're intelligent enough. Yeah?
What happens after it?
Look at it again, see?
Yeah.
You don't even look over your shoulder.
Yeah, but play it. I want to see what happened after it.
Yeah, for your first touch, fine. But against the better teams, that for me, against the better teams, you're not going to get away with that. Habri are not going to give you the time and space to do that. So you can say, yeah, it ended well, fine. But it's the philosophy, it's the style of play that I want you to play that's important. Yeah, I know.
Let's see Mate's decision.
I stopped. I think I didn't get the ball.
Again, million times.
No, we lost it there.
Yeah, we lost it.
Okay.
So I'm telling you, Maori is in space. Yeah, but Maori's in space.
What are you thinking not to?
This is what we want. This is what we want. This is great. Fantastic. And now 1v1 look, and you've given him a chance. Yeah?
Vietnamese guy, isn't it?
Well, his last one, and it's Ionel. Again. But you have to understand that the reason why I do this is to improve you and to improve the team.
I'm doing it.
Yeah,
I didn't
know,
complain
but
already.
your face says that you don't agree with me.
Don't come to face. My face is
The respect, mate.
Your face is always the same.
Use my face all the time.
Yeah, again, Ionel closing the space. It's the same shit. Again, he's playing back, boys. Back into the pressure. Here, same situation again. The pressure has come from the left side. You can see that Mohab has space on his right side. Maori's on the touchline. Elan's here as well, and he chooses to play back into the pressure again.
Yeah, usually it works, but I couldn't sprain. That's it.
It's not about. But again, boys, it's not about. When we talk about these situations, it's not like you in this situation you do this. It's a pattern of play. This is what I want you to play. The philosophy of the team is that when you receive it in this place, in this situation, your first priority, what you should be looking at before anything else, is that you have to switch the play into the space.
Isn't it dangerous also, because we know each other, we do it quite often. I think that the ball comes from the defense to me. I always try the 1-2, usually with Lionel or whoever is the holding midfielder, because they know I always take that space. I don't dribble that much. I do 1-2 more, right? And I can be dangerous in that space, going towards the defense.
I do this.
I think.
Boys, the last point really is I do this and I give you this information. Whether you agree with it, whether you accept it, whether you choose to do it on Saturday or Sunday is up to you. What I'm telling you is that if you do this, you have a better chance of succeeding, and that's the key. Whether you do it or not, I can't control you on that pitch. I can't make decisions for you, and I can't dictate what you do in certain situations. I'm telling you that if you conduct yourself in this way on the pitch, it's going to give you a better chance of success. That's all I'm saying, boys. As a coach, that's all I can point out to you. Whether you accept it or not, if you still want to play in your way, by all means play in your way.
In this situation.
But I understand that. Yeah, everyone's got their different ways of solving a problem. I'm telling you that that's the best way to solve the problem. But as I said, on that pitch, the ball's yours and the decisions are yours. Yeah. This is why we have video sessions, though, so I can show you. Yeah.